when I look at vintage, it has that kind of like punk rock ethos, right? Where it's like, I don't care what anyone else says. These are the things that I think are cool. You can either buy them or you can fuck off. I hate to put things so bluntly, but that's kind of the beauty of like vintage and of resale is you're able to create a pocket where you and whoever else sees things the way that you do can live and enjoy and invest in each other and fill each other's cups up. One of my, I wouldn't say biggest fears, but something that just kind of is a back of the mind thought. We're really lucky to be in a place that people don't take intellectual property rights more seriously. And I think the brands that are cool already have been on that wave of buying back their own things. And you know, they work close with resellers. Talk about Ralph Lauren, they buy back their own product just as much as they have their vintage team going out and buying from dealers and buying from people at shows, at markets, and building connections. And I think when a brand has that reverence for their past and vintage and they don't think of it from a place of insecurity, it's good. I joke with people that like, if it wasn't for our customers, vintage is just anthropology. It's the study of how things were worn. But through finding like-minded people, you're able to create a realm where we're able to look at the past, see how things were worn, and then look at the future and see how we can wear them differently. And I think that vintage is that culmination of personal taste with where things came from and where things are going. My name is Justin Berry, and these are some of the pieces that I would never sell. First we got here, the size extra large LL Bean boat and tote, 1980s. What's interesting, I've never seen another black one this size. I've gotten stopped in Japan, in New York, everywhere I go. This is the only bag I fly with. It carries everything. It can fit in anything you need it to. It's just fucking cool. And what I love, it was falling apart when we got it. So you can see we took old salt and pepper shirting material to try to match the black sun fading when repairing it. And then same thing on the bottom, just sewed what was left intact. And I just kind of love the like imperfections of it. Again, rugged elegance. 1940s World War II deck jacket. This is stenciled out to the USS Texas, and it's been over-dyed a blackish blue color. What's so crazy about the USS Texas? This was at the liberation of North Africa, then went to Italy. It was at D-Day and then went to support forces at the Battle of Iwo Jima and Okinawa. So this was basically at every single key turning point of World War II. This ship itself was a destroyer, so it would be sitting off of the coast and just basically hammering any of the bunkers, any aircraft things, guns, not things. And what's cool is you'll notice the stenciling motor launch. So what this guy was doing, he was on a small, essentially dinghy boat, running supplies, running ammunition between all the other destroyers. So this dude was in the middle of these gnarly battles on the smallest fucking boat, just going back and forth, trying to just make sure that everyone had what they needed to get through the day. But it fits me perfectly. The colors are unreal. And just the history is just, that's what we do. This guy right here, 1940s, SAS, so Special Air Services. This was British Special Forces, and this is a brushstroke camouflage smock. What's so cool about this one is it's been modified to be a full zip. So these typically are just a quarter zip that comes a little bit down that you pull over, worn as an outer layer. And the original ones, and why they're called brushstroke, was actually they used a mop to paint on these jackets to provide some sort of camouflaging. You'll see on the back some tears and repairs. A lot of these just went to surplus yards and were basically cut for scraps so they wouldn't be reused. So you'll see ones that were basically saved from just scrap piles, repaired and reused, and then kind of just end up in surplus, collectors, collections, etc., etc. I've had probably, I would say, 10 pairs of the pants that go with this. This is probably the only smock I've had and one of the only smocks I've seen in person fully modified. Again, military, you guys are gonna see, is a big part of our business. What we have here is a Royal Navy deck smock. It's made from a ventile material. These were basically worn 70s into 80s. A lot of times you'll see them during the Falkland War conflict on the deck of a boat in the Atlantic, where it's freezing and rainy. So you're talking some of the coldest, harshest regions of the water. And what's special about this one, when you look inside, you'll notice this stamping BIL. So this was a limited run of these that was made by Belstaff. So the same Belstaff that made the Trailmaster jackets, motorcycle jackets, did make some pieces for the British military, and this is an example of one of the Ventile smocks that they made. With that stamp, it's even more rare. And I've had, you know, someone offer me $2,000 something for this, and even if that's more than probably what it should be worth in the market, it's just so cool. They make them in a green, and it's known as like a canoe smock, and those are worth a lot more money and a lot more rare, and that is something I would get rid of this for. Some denim in the same realm. It is a military piece, but from the 1930s. These were issued to the US Army and the CCC, so the Civilian Conservation Corps. Basically, during the Great Depression, FDR, one of his many grand ideas to kind of help the American people out was to look at what we could do to rebuild our infrastructure by putting people to work. So the Conservation Corps was basically unemployed men that got an opportunity to work on building out roads, working on national parks, like building out the infrastructure of the United States. And it wasn't just a handout. These were people that were able to feel like they were doing something to contribute. It's a pop-over style, 2 chest pockets here, basically worn as a work shirt under a denim jacket that goes with it. There's a matching pair of buckleback pants and a Daisy May like denim bucket hat. That's like the full setup. This was the first piece that got me into vintage. So this was my grandpa's Levi's jacket from the 1960s. Big E 557. It is falling apart, but I don't want to repair it. He wore this jacket all the time. I found this in his garage after he passed away. He was basically who raised me. So I found this out after he passed away, probably like 10, 15 years after he passed away. I'm at my rehearsal dinner, and I'm talking with my dad. And we're kind of talking about family stuff, kind of as you do with your parents when it's like on the eve of your wedding. And he's like, hey, do you want to know some fun stories about your grandpa that I haven't told you? And I'm like, oh, of course. Like, yeah, like this is, you know, you never know what that's going to be. So he basically tells me the story. He grew up in Manhattan Beach, which I knew that. But what I didn't know is, you know, when he's 16, 17, 18, he moves to Venice. And he's friends with Jim Morrison. He's friends with the Hells Angels. Like, he's someone who grows weed. So he basically was just a connect for them that he was friends with until he unfortunately knocked somebody up and left town. So he moved to Visalia, which is in the middle of nowhere in Central California, and bought this barn to live a quote-unquote simple life. But behind the bales, he still kept his weed business going, where he basically pretended to be a farmer as a front to grow weed for a bunch of his biker friends. And this jacket probably kept him cool, kept him dry, and been through hell and back. This one is a wild card. It's a little piece of LA history, and I won't go too much into the details of it. It goes by the name of the Clown Room nowadays, but this is an actual 80s Jumbos t-shirts. It's something that I can't describe. If you've been there, you understand why this is so cool, and if you haven't, you should go. Sorry, Sarah. Find us American_Reboot on Instagram. Everything pretty much we post is for sale. We might not say it explicitly. Just DM, ask a question, engage. We're pretty nice. And if it's not for sale, I'll tell you nicely that it's not, at least. I'm not going to be mean about it. If you are in LA or you're visiting LA, Long Beach is only 30 minutes away, guys. It's not that crazy. Come on down. Come visit us. DM for an appointment. We don't have minimums. Just bring a good attitude.